Hi, I'm Sherry and this is Gardening in the North. So today I wanted to bring you into the kitchen, kind of show you what I'm going to do with the pumpkins that I harvest and how I'm going to preserve them, to use them this winter season for my family. Before I do, I just want to show you this really cool. How cool is this? It's a cucumber that grew along our pool fence. So I had some extra seeds, I threw them in, not really anticipating, getting much from it. It actually grew through the fence and was kind of just hanging there like that. Looks like a boomerang, pretty cool. So the type of pumpkin that I did was the baby Pam, and it's from Bessie's, and great seeds. I found that all 4 of them that I planted germinated, and I was able to get pumpkins off of all the plants. 3 of the plants have gotten a bit of disease. I think they have vine borers in them. And so one of the things that I will do next year is when I plant my seedlings out in the garden, I will wrap the base of the plant with tin foil. I haven't done it before, but I have heard that it kind of, will, I guess, keep them away, keep them at bay a little longer so that your fruit can grow to the size that they need to be. And so a good example of that is this. So these are buttercup squash, and this one here was able to grow to the size that it needed to grow to. And then as the plant became diseased, this was the only size of buttercup squash that I got. And so this was a little bit disappointing because I had about 10 plants out there and I probably got 1 squash for every plant. So I will definitely try the tin foil around the base of the plants next year in the hopes that I can get more fruit, because this is my absolute favorite squash. Okay. So this is the size of the pumpkins that I have. And again, they're the baby Pams. I haven't grown these before, but I've heard that they are very sweet, easy to work with, and I thought I'd give it a shot. So let's cut them open and get them on the cookie sheet and get them in the oven. Okay, so one thing I do want to point out is that you need an extremely sharp knife to be cutting into these. The skin is very hard, and that would be for any type of pumpkin that you have, or any type of winter squash. You would need a sharp knife. And so these are my favorite. I'm not being paid to tell you this at all. They're Forever Sharp knives, and I use them for everything. My husband thinks it's quite hilarious that I use this knife to cut my cheese, to cut my peppers, my onions, everything. Doesn't matter how small it is, this is the knife I grab. So I'll just show you the insides of them. So they look wonderful. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to save all my seeds. Even though I still have half a pack left, I'm going to save all my seeds. So with COVID, at the beginning of the growing season, and I was going to my local gardener and I was buying seeds, and little by little you would notice that all the seeds were disappearing. And so a lot of people during this pandemic have started gardens, which is great. I love that everybody wants to provide food for their family. Having said that though, I suspect that, when the fall comes and, we're in the winter season and it's time to buy your seeds, I think it may be a little bit hard. And so for those of us that currently have a garden, I would suggest that if you can save your seeds, save them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the seeds from all the pumpkins into my strainer here, and then I will wash them off and then lay them out on paper towel. I know it seems a little bit much to have all the seeds from these pumpkins, but my plan is to save some, give some away, and maybe bake some. I know my kids like that. So I'm just gonna dig them all out. And then later I will go through them all and rinse them and pull them out. So, and I'm just using a spoon, a sharp spoon. Okay. And there we go, just like that. And I'm gonna do this one. Now, I did watch a video where somebody suggested that you take the stem off, and I think it's a good idea after you've cut it. I think, you know, because the skin is so sharp, you really do need a little bit more to hold on to while you're cutting into it. So I prefer to leave them on. Yikes. So let me see here. Okay, and we're just going to get the last little bit, all hiding in there. There we go. Okay, so again, all I'm going to do is place them on to my cookie sheet. And so I've covered my cookie sheets with parchment paper, just like a no-name Great Value from Walmart brand. The reason I do that is it's easier for cleanup, right? So any of the juices that, you know, caramelize onto your pans, really hard to get off. But when you use parchment paper, you can remove your pumpkins or your squash or really anything that you're cooking on it and throw the paper out and give your pan a quick wash. Easy peasy. Okay, so I'm going to cut up all the rest of the pumpkins, put them on the cookie sheets, and bring you back when they're all cooked up. Okay, hi guys. So all the pumpkin is now cooked. There were 7 pumpkins in total. I just want to show you how many seeds I got. 4 cups of seeds. 4 cups. Seed exchange, anyone? So in all honesty, these seeds may be cross-contaminated. And so the reason I say that is, you know, there were 7 pumpkins, 3 plants that produced 6 of those pumpkins will not be cross-pollinated. They were in my raised garden bed, and that was about 300 feet away from the other garden that has squash plants. And so those 6 pumpkins would not produce seeds that are cross-pollinated. However, I did add into the mix 1 pumpkin from my hilltop garden, and that pumpkin plant was near squash plants. So can't do seed exchanges with them, but I will give them to friends and family and let them know that they may be cross-pollinated. But how much fun is that? Let's plant some seeds. They might be pumpkin plants. They might be a cross. It's pretty fun. So what I'll do is I will put some of them in here, dry them out. Once they're dry, I'll put them into small little envelopes, and the rest of them I will bake in the oven. Okay, so a lot of the pumpkin I've already taken out, and so I've done a couple things with it. One, I have made a mixture of melted butter, garlic, a little bit of flour, some milk, and the pumpkin. And I've whisked it all together, and that's going to go into the dish I'm making, which is Cheddar Pumpkin Scalloped Potatoes. The rest of it I have been putting in Ziploc bags, and this I will freeze in the freezer. And so I will freeze them in these bags, and I've labeled them, and I'll put them on this lid, put it in the freezer. Once they are frozen, I can remove the lid, but at least this way they stay nice and hard, and then I can stack them, and it just saves me space in the freezer. Okay, so the rest of it, I just kind of wanted to show you how easy it is and how it comes out. Again, I cooked these at 400 for about an hour and 10 minutes. I did that during my lunch hour, and they actually sat in the oven for probably another 3 hours until I was done work and had dinner, and then I started scooping them out. So I just want to show you, if you use a spoon, it comes out super easy. So you can just see how easy that comes out. Now, if you were to use a fork, you might puncture through the skin, and then it just gets a little bit messy, but like my hands aren't even messy, just holding the shell of it. So it's a great way to do it. So I'll package that up after. Okay, so why am I making this? We are gonna be having a harvest dinner. And so my husband and I came up with this idea of having a harvest dinner because we have this gorgeous, you know, very lush garden, and my brother-in-law and my sister have a garden, my parents have a garden, and I just thought, wouldn't it be a lot of fun if we had a dinner where everybody had to bring a dish that contained something that they grew themselves? So I thought I would make cheddar pumpkin scalloped potatoes. And so the potatoes I've already cut up. So these also are from my garden. Normally we wouldn't have potatoes this early, but because we had such warm weather early in the season, all the plants died off and I was able to dig up the potatoes. So this has worked out really well for me. I'm going to layer my tray with a layer of potatoes. I'm then gonna put a mixture of the pumpkin and milk and flour and garlic and butter over top of it, spread it out evenly. I'm gonna put a sprinkle of some salt, some pink salt, put a little bit of pepper on it, and then I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of my homemade onion powder. And then I'm gonna do it again. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna also put a little bit of cheese in there as well. And I'm just gonna keep layering it until my container fills up. So, let's get to it. Okay, so it's all done. I was able to get 3 layers into the one dish. So potato, pumpkin mixture, and cheese with some spices on every layer. I'm gonna cook this at 350 for about an hour. It's gonna get nice and golden brown on top. I'm going to cook it on a cookie sheet just because I think that it may bubble over. I did do 3 layers and it's quite filled. Probably in a couple of hours, I will then cover it and place it into the freezer. So 2 weeks from now, I'll be able to pull it out and